What is up, peeps? Following TCG here, and I'd like to welcome you back to another YouTube video. And we are obviously going to be doing some more Pokemon trading card game online gameplay. I do apologize if I'm not putting as much energy into this video. I am very sick right now. I know in my more recent videos I've been mentioning me obviously coughing and saying that I'm ill. It's come on full effect as of yesterday and today. So unfortunately I can't put as much energy into this video as I'd like to, so I apologize there. We are going to be doing a different deck. We're going to be playing Mismagius Garbodor, which is a rogue deck I created that is formed on the basis of using Chaos Wheel to poke damage, let Shrine build up damage. We also have Tapu Koko for spread, and effectively limit our opponent's hand, force them to play other cards like more item cards, so our Garbodor can come in the late game and just destroy everything. That's the concept there. We played a DCE, of course, to allow us to use the Dark Art attack. It's a pretty nifty attack if your opponent has a big hand, and it works in synergy of Chaos Wheel because Chaos Wheel stops tool cards, special energy, and stadium cards. So we are in a stadium format. So it also stops our Shrine from being counter-stadiumed, which is great, and also keeps cards in their hand, making Dark Arts a more powerful attack overall. So Mismagius is a pretty neat card to play. Now, its HP is incredibly low, so that's concerning. I would maybe contemplate playing a Sudowoodo tech to prevent Zoroark one-shotting it, but even then, they just need a Devoured Field, and it would still hit me because of 110. Oh, wait, no, I think I'm weak to Dark, so I don't think it would make a difference, really, when I'm thinking about it now. But yeah, so the strategy of the deck is just to poke damage, let Shrine do the job, and essentially in the late game come out of Garbodor. Starting with a Trubbish is pretty bad. We don't want that to be the case. Oh, this is a bad sign. We're up against a Garchomp Lucario deck. That's not a good sign at all. So this deck is going to be quite hard to play against, but I think if we get a Mismagius out next turn, I'm going to keep the Ultra Ball in hand. I think I'm going to hold this hand. I'm kind of like it already. So I'll attach energy here, and I'll Guzma this into the active whilst I can, and then next time we can play the Cynthia. Next time we'll get Mismagius out, and then we'll go for Chaos Wheel. The good thing is Chaos Wheel will allow us to, let me get the microphone closer, will allow us to prevent them attaching DCE, which makes it very hard for them to use Garchomp the way they would like to, and it would force them to attach energy manually. So it's definitely a good shout to get Mismagius out here to prevent them from attaching DCE and slow down their deck a lot. So I think it's definitely a good shout to get Mismagius. I think Mismagius is a good card to use in this format with special energy being so valuable. I don't know if I play an enhanced hammer, and I think I would like to. Oh, okay, they're just going to go and get rid of the DCE anyway. Right, so I'm assuming they're grabbing a Gibble and a Lucario. Now, maybe I should have saved the Guzma to knock out the Lucario. That might have been a better play, thinking about it now. All right, let's get Shrine out. It's not really going to have a difference, to be honest. Make a difference is the word I want to use. Not have a difference. What am I talking about? Let's get Mismagius out now. We're going to evolve into the Garbodor, and we're going to go for a Cynthia. We'll attach the energy to the Garb. We want to attach DCE for the Dark Arts attack. Well, thinking about it, I could have tried hitting a DCE and then knocking this thing out rather than Chaos Wheel, but that's fine. We didn't hit the DCE anyway. Now, I am going to bench the Koko because I want a free retreater in case anything goes wrong next turn. Right, so let's go for Chaos Wheel now. So we now know that they cannot attach DCE or any tool cards. I mean, tool cards aren't really that big right now with so many Shrine decks coming around. Choice Band is not being played much. It's not being played particularly in Vika Ray decks. There's a lot of decks that aren't really prioritizing Choice Band now, or do play Choice Band but don't tend to really need it because of Shrine decks. So I don't think they play any tool cards, and even if they do, I mean, Choice Band's not going to do anything to me anyway, so like there's no real benefit of me stopping them from using a Choice Band, but stopping them from bringing Stadium and bringing Special Energy is definitely something. Right, so judging by the fact that they got another Gibble shows me that they don't have a rare candy in hand. So that's a good sign. We're going to go for a Lily. I guess I'll hit an energy here and then go for a Lily. Kukui's pointless right now. I'm going to get rid of a Cynthia and a Lily here and get myself a Macargo. Yeah, Kukui's pointless now because we're knocking it out anyway, but the reason I put Kukui in is to allow us to use our Macargo, obviously. Right, so next turn, what do we want? I think we want a Guzma next turn. That's what I think we want, and I think that'll allow us to knock out this Lucario. Garbodor's doing nothing right now, but we can go for a Dark Arts attack and get rid of that Lucario. Yes, I know they're going to have a second one up, but... or we could get rid of the Gibble. I mean, if we prevent them from getting Garchomp anyway, then the deck is almost pointless, right? Now, they're not playing the Ascension Gibble, which I prefer. Yes, it's less HP, but I prefer Ascension because it just makes it a lot easier to get the Stage 2 out, effectively treating it as a Stage 1. Now, that Lance Prism Star is... Wait, what's Lance? If you okay, so you search for Pokemon off your bench. I didn't know that. You can play this card only if one of your Pokemon's knocked out. Search your deck for up to 2 Dragon Pokemon and put them into your bench. I thought it was search a discard pile. Am I confusing that with another Prism Star or another card? Either way, they can't attach DCE, so they're going to be struggling. If we Guzma up one of these and just go for another Chaos Wheel rather than knocking it out, then I think that should be fine. Because we still prevent the DCE attachment. I think that'd be the better play, if I'm going to be honest. Now, we could do a bit of spread with Tapu Koko, but that just doesn't seem powerful enough right now. So I think we're okay there. So being able to get any 2 cards they want during their turn is great for them. They probably got a DCE thinking about it now, but we are just going to go straight for the Guzma play, I think. And just get a Lucario up. And then we're going to Macargo for a second Guzma, so we can keep this little lock strategy going that we've got here to lock out the Lucarios and prevent DCE attachments. So let's do that. Chaos Wheel. We're going to hold our DCE in case they play Enhanced Hammer, because you never know. In any deck, Enhanced Hammer can just come out of nowhere. So let's be safe there. Right, yeah. So do Lucario. We knock it out next turn, which is great. With the same Chaos Wheel attack. They've still not played any item cards. They don't really need to be honest. If they get any card they want any turn, there's not really much items you can really play. Effectively speaking. So yeah, they've gone for the Guzma play themselves. Understandable. And this is why we ourselves decided to put top deck another Guzma, because at the end of the day, I kind of saw that happening. Now they could outdo me here and actually get themselves another Guzma for next turn, which makes sense. So what I'll do is I'll probably top deck this time an Escape Rope. I think I have Escape Rope because I think I'm out of Guzmas after this because I only play 3. So we'll top deck an Escape Rope to allow ourselves to, you know, avoid any issues. Right, so let's see if we can top deck the Escape Rope. Yes, we've got Escape Rope as well. So we'll prepare again to be trapped up there. Anyway, let's go for the Guzma. I'm actually going to promote the... I'm thinking of promoting the damaged one. But I don't know if that's a smart play. I think we're going to promote the clean one. I think that's what we do. The reason why I decided to promote the clean one is so if they knock us out, they have to get a Cynthia in order to do so. And they have to attach the energy rather than just going for another, you know, quick dive. And, you know, they could have a Kukui for all we know, so we don't want to risk that and make it easier for them to get a knockout this turn. So that's my kind of idea there. We did get another Escape Rope from the prizes, which is great. So we don't have to worry again about being locked in the active with the Macargo. Right, so here we go. So they've got that Garchomp loaded up. Now their hand size is pretty decent, but I don't think I'm knocking them out. So it's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. So yeah, I'm like 1 away from knocking them out. They did Cynthia, so they do get a knockout on this one, which is unfortunate. But Cynthia is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. We're only doing 100 damage now. So unfortunately, we're not doing enough to knock this out. Which is a shame. And they're not playing into my Garbodor, so they're being quite intelligent with this. Garchomp, in my opinion, is a good deck, but I don't know. It just doesn't seem, you know, incredible. We're going to play the Escape Rope anyway, because I want to get this one out of the active. Yes, they could just promote another Garchomp. That's 100% true. Okay, so they're giving me a prize here. Now, yeah, I think I'm... The thing is, committing a DCE to this seems bad, because I'm going to get knocked out next turn. And my Garbodor really isn't doing anything. So, I think what I've got to do is get another Pokemon out, man. But okay, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna Nest Ball. So yeah, we're gonna put a Nest Ball at the top of our deck. We're gonna Lily, I think. I do really want to knock that Gible out. I really do. Okay, that's what we're gonna do. We're going to spread with Coco for a turn. That's what we're going to do. And we're going to actually Kukui rather than Lily. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're going to do that for a turn. All right, there we go. So we got a Nest Ball. We're going to bench Mischievous and another Mischievous? No, we only have one. So we'll get another Trubbish out and just hope they start to play into the Garbodor forcefully. Right, so we can Escape Rope and then do some spread. Or we can retreat manually. I think the Escape Rope's better because I like to attach the DCE to that Mismagius next turn if it doesn't get knocked out, to allow myself to potentially knock out, you know, a Garchomp, because I assume he's going to promote this Garchomp and knock me out. Okay, so he's not. So let's go for some spread here with a Flying Flip and just soften up the Pokemon in play to allow us to hit numbers a lot easier with our Dark Arts attack. This is definitely a tough matchup with it being a non-GX deck. Against a GX deck, of course, this will obviously do a lot better because Shrine just helps the damage build up and it helps us hit the numbers sooner. But we kind of have to go for Coco. And that's another reason why I put Coco in, really, was like if we come up against a deck that isn't affected by Shrine, then we want to, you know, find another way to soften them up, and Coco is usually a good way to go about it. I think Coco is one of the best Pokemon in the current format. Like, I definitely think so. It's just a staple right now. Like, most decks play at least one copy of Coco just for the free retreat and the free Flying Flip. It just seems like that's the kind of play. A Super Boost Energy is really unique in this list. I don't think I've seen that before, and that's a very good idea. Oh, they've gone for a counter catcher. Yeah, we did see they played that in the mulligans that they had. I did forget. Yeah, Super Boost actually seems quite smart. I'm about to sneeze. Hang on. Am I going to sneeze? Am I going to sneeze? No, I'm not going to sneeze. do you hate it when you get that the I'm going to sneeze moment? You just sit there and you're like, no, it's not happening. And then it'll probably happen in about 5-6 minutes. Right, Cynthia. Okay. So now they're in a very good spot where they can just stream attacks, right? A very, very good spot. And I think Garchomp may be a deck that, with Lance, Prism Star, and other cards like that, it seems like it could be a viable deck now. Which is quite interesting. Right, we could go for another turn of Flying Flip, considering our prices are even, and that does seem like it's the play to make. Just because we can. I mean, I would like to top deck a Kukui so we can get something else next turn with the Macargo. Guaranteed. Like something like a Mischievous or a... Not Mischievous, a Mismagius or a DCE. Oh, we got DCE anyway, so that's good news. Okay, so let's drop down an energy on the Mischievous. And we're going to go for another turn of spread. What is their items looking like now? So they've got 3 in the discard pile. So 60 damage is on our Garbodor now. Our Garbodor is still just sitting here and waiting to come into play. We are one-shotting the Lucarios, but we're not yet one-shotting the Garchomps. So kind of just sitting here playing a patient game and waiting for damage to build up. They are getting their special energy into play because our Mismagius isn't going for the K-Swill attack, so that's quite frustrating. So they are definitely speeding up, and I think we just need to use this Tapu Koko as much as we can to allow us to get those one-shots on the Pokemon and just go for those kind of trades. This Tapu Koko won't go down unless they get Cynthia, which I assume they will with Lucario right now, to guarantee the knockout. In which case, I will then probably go for a Kukui Mismagius to guarantee the knockout. We can counter Stadium with the Shrine, so we're fine there. Yeah, guaranteed a knockout on a Garchomp with the Dark Arts attack. Because we're hitting 100 right now. Oh, no, taking a prize card, so we are hitting enough, so that's fine. We don't need to Kukui right now. Which is good. We don't need the Kukui, but we do kind of need to Kukui so we can get ourselves a Mismagius, so we kind of have to do that. Right, so let's get a no, not Slugman. Let's get a Mismagius now, and let's go for a Kukui play. And just guarantee the knockout here. Alright, that's kind of good. Now, I don't know if we have any rescue stretches in list. I play rescue stretcher religiously, so I assume we do. So I'm going to bench that in the assumption this gets knocked out and we can grab a rescue stretcher next turn. Right, so there we go. 160, which is great for the knockout. Oranguru, yep, we got that. I mean, that's kind of pointless now. That's usually for low hands, and I guess if we don't play the Cynthia, we could bench Oranguru and go for a Macargo that way to guarantee something beneficial. But it just seems like right now we're in a very tough spot because they've only got 3 items in the discard pile. They're playing around the Garbodor very well, which means we're just not going to have enough damage in the late game to really pick us up and allow us to get the win here. So it is quite unfortunate. But we are still challenging them even though they are fully set up, which is, it's a good sign. It's a good sign for this list considering that this is a fully set up Garchomp list. Not struggling to beat us, but we're still holding up against them in terms of prizes. Our board state is not as good. Definitely, the board state is way better on their end, but considering that we're able to keep up with the likes of Macargo in play, is pretty cool. So they're playing counter. They're playing a ton of special energy. Now the counter energy is kind of pointless here. So if we find a way to knock out this Garchomp, which I heavily doubt we do, it's just not enough damage. We're just gonna have to poke into it with the Garbodor, I'm afraid. How many Cynthias have they got left? Oh, they've still got 2 now. Okay, we're gonna bench Oranguru. We're gonna go for a smooth over and see what's going on. Okay, so this is quite bad. There's nothing here that can sway the game in my favor here. There's no rescue stretcher or anything like that. That's bad, so I assume I prized it. Resource management of Oranguru isn't really ideal considering that we're not decking out anytime soon. Psychic energy isn't good. Cynthia's like kind of pointless. It seems like every card in here is really just ineffective. I mean, we don't even have another Garbodor, so it seems like we've definitely got some problems. Maybe I should bench an Oranguru and just go for Profound Knowledge. Or to better think about it, I think I should have. I'm going to Cynthia instead, because I think what I should have done is put a DCE and attach to Oranguru, because I think we can attack with this Oranguru and at least, at the very least, guarantee we've got an attack already next turn. So I would prefer that. We could Ultra Ball these, we can thin our deck here and just get rid of these and cancel, because I think like this is kind of pointless. We're just going to cancel there. And we can go, we can go for an Instruct, why not? And, okay, so that's kind of pointless. Let's just go for a Trash Lunch for 60. And hope we hit a DCE next turn, or, well, we can, because we've got Lily, we can guarantee that. And just start whacking into the stuff. A good thing is that they, right now, they can't follow up if this one gets knocked out, if this Garchomp gets knocked out. But you've got to bear in mind, they have 2 of these in play. By the way, I love pre-release promos. I love pre-release promos. So that's a pretty cool artwork. So, yeah, bear in mind they've got these in play so they can just get any card they want anyway. So if they're like, oh, I need an energy. Well, bang, energy. So it's not something to really concern about on their end. So thinking ahead, I don't know how we're going to win this game. I'm also not sure how we could have played it better. It just seems like a bad matchup. I mean, Coco did well, helped us hit some numbers. We did definitely do some good damage here and there. It's just we weren't. We weren't designed to come up against this deck. We're designed to come up against a GX deck. So it's just a very tough matchup overall to play. But I'm kind of happy that although that it's a tough matchup, we still put up a fight. We still definitely challenged them and didn't make it easy for them. So I'm kind of happy about that. So that's pretty neat. Right, so let's bring the Oranguru up and top deck a DCE and just get this Garchomp out of the way. And then we're probably just going to lose the next turn. I assume they're just going to grab a Cynthia and an Energy. Hey, we tried, didn't we? We tried. Better try and fail than to fail to try. That's what I always say. So with that said, let's grab this DCE, attach it, and just go for an attack. There we go. Alright, Psychic. So there's the knockout on the Garchomp. And I believe that would be game. You know, they could have a Guzma. There's so many options for them to win. I just don't see how they're not winning this turn. Let's see what goes on. But yeah, speaking about it, I don't think there's anything else we could have done to really help us. I think we did fulfill our strategy in the game. The bad part about this deck is Garbodor Trash Challenge does rely on your opponent. And this deck doesn't play too many items anyway because it doesn't need to. Because all you really need is just your Lucarias and your Garchomps, and then you're good to go. You don't really need much items to get that going either. As long as you get them into play, you don't need to play your items like Ultra Balls and stuff, or your Timer Balls. You don't need to play those if you've got things into play already, so why would you? So I assume they've got the energy now to do the attack. Yep, there we go, and we'll give them a fair play, good game. But they put me out before I could quit. That's kind of funny. Alright, so unfortunately we did lose there. Let me show you the full list, see if there's anything you would do with that list. It does obviously match way better against GX Pokemon. But coming up against non-GX, it definitely does struggle. Maybe we could tech something in to really help it just stand up against something like a Garchomp or a Buzzwole Garb Shrine deck, because they do struggle against those. So this is the list. The reason why we play Resource Management Oranguru is because this deck does tend to draw quite heavily, quite well. As you could see, like, I went down to like 8 cards towards the end, whereas my opponent was on like 20 something. So like we do draw quite heavily. We got the escape ropes in there and the Guzmas to prevent our other Pokemon being trapped and we can't retreat. Again, Coco I think was a pretty good shout to put in the deck. So it is a shrine deck, definitely. It's like a shrine spread lock deck. It's kind of weird how to describe it. But it is unique in itself. Give it a shot, make this list, try it out, see if you come up against something like a Vicare or something, or a Malamar, anything down that line, and see if you can actually disrupt their initial plans and just ruin their day. But other than that, I'd like to thank you guys for coming by and watching. Please do like the video if you did enjoy it, and do share it with your friends if you thought it was a good video. Other than that, do click subscribe button. Of course, I upload every day on the week, so there will be a video out tomorrow. I will leave you to it, and peace.